Super Bowl Sunday is where the Kansas City Chiefs are finally going to get exposed for the first time this postseason. I'll tell you why in 1 second, but first, welcome. Thank you for joining us right here as we do get set for Super Bowl Sunday. Appreciate you listening, whether it's the Hick at Night podcast, night spelled N-I-T-E, or appreciate you watching on YouTube. Search the channel name Ryan Hickey. Subscribe to the channel. Also, comment below your Super Bowl predictions. All right, so back to what I said. Specifically, I think this Chiefs offense is going to get exposed on Sunday for what they are, being average. This was an average offense this year, and I think that average offense is going to get outdueled by the 49ers offense, and that's why I have San Francisco winning this game. Look, I know. They have Patrick Mahomes. How dare you, Ryan, call a Chiefs offense with Patrick Mahomes average? I'm calling it as it is. That's what they've been this year. 15th in the league in terms of points per game in the regular season, and they've given you not a lot of reason to believe this offense is going to figure it out in the Super Bowl because they've been just basically kind of keeping the status quo the same in the postseason. They've not been very dominant. They've not been very explosive in the playoffs offensively, just like they weren't in the regular season. So I don't have a reason to believe that they're going to outduel and outgun this 49ers offense. In this game specifically, I think the target number for the Chiefs has to be 32 because I'll give you my final score in a second. I'll tell you how the 49ers, I think, are getting to 31 points. But I think the 49ers are going to score, and they're going to score a good amount. So if you're the Chiefs, I think you have to game plan and say, all right, we got to go into this game. We need to score 32 points in order to feel really good about winning this matchup. I know they got Patrick Mahomes, but I'll ask you, do you really trust this Chiefs offense to put up at least 32 points on Sunday? I don't. Even with Patrick Mahomes on the other side, I don't trust the Chiefs offense right now to put up more than 30. You want to know why? Because they haven't done it all year. One game this season, all the way back in week 3. Ironically enough, first game Taylor Swift attended at Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs put up 41 points. Only time this season they have surpassed scoring 31 points in a game in 2023. They have not been the traditional explosive offense that we've seen. And again, it's not been that much different in the postseason. And so with an offense that's been average, I don't see how right now this San Francisco offense is outscored by Kansas City. Look, I know, right, we've talked a lot about this year, the Chiefs' wide receivers, offensive line struggles, even Travis Kelce at times looking a step slow and a step old. That's been, talking points all year long. But one thing I want to bring up that I don't think has been talked about enough, and it's going to, I think, be the biggest difference on Sunday, is second half scoring. How do you perform offensively in the second half, for me, is where this game is going to be won. And you look from a Kansas City perspective, they have been one of the worst second half teams in all of football this year, in 2023. They've been awful. 28th, if you want to get exact, where they rank in terms of second half scoring in the regular season. And again, just like what we kind of been talking about, things have not changed all that much in the postseason. Like if you look right now at their numbers, they have scored just 24 points in the second half of their 3 playoff games combined, including in the AFC title game 2 weeks ago, getting shut out in the second half in Baltimore. It goes back to what I said to start this little monologue. The Chiefs offense is finally going to get exposed. It is very rare you can get shut out in the second half of a championship game and still find a way to win. That game, the more we talk about it, it's more impressive how Kansas City was able to go into Baltimore and win. That, though, to me, was more about the Ravens and what they didn't do than what the Chiefs did, especially on offense. They got out to a fast start. That's a big key that they've had, or a big, I should say, consistency they've had all season long, and especially all postseason long. They've gotten out to fast starts. They have no problem getting going early. Their problem is sustaining that early momentum, and usually it fizzles out by really near the end of the second quarter. To the point where, again, we saw 0 points on the scoreboard in the second half in Baltimore, still able to win. You put up a goose egg in the Super Bowl on Sunday, I promise you this. You are not winning the Super Bowl if you score 0 second half points against this 49ers team. That has been a big bugaboo and a big issue all season long for Kansas City. They can't figure out how to come out of the halftime locker room and keep the momentum they've had in the first half. That means where this game's going to be won. Chiefs, one of the worst second half teams. If we look on the other side of the ball, the best second half scoring team in the NFL is who? You guessed it, the San Francisco 49ers. Number one in the regular season, and they have carried that over into the postseason. We look at right now the two games they won against the Packers and against the Lions. It was all second half, right? It was all offensive explosion in the second half as to why they came back and beat the Packers and had that 17-point comeback against the Lions. They have scored 44 second half points in just two games. They have been explosive. They have been clutch. That is where this game is going to be won. The 49ers offensively know how to make plays when they need them this season. The Chiefs, on the other hand, not the case. Their defense has gotten stops, not the offense. I don't think the defense is going to shut the door the way they did in Baltimore, the way they did in Buffalo. San Francisco is going to score a lot in the second half. They're going to win this game. And one of the reasons why I feel confident in saying San Francisco is going to score, especially a lot in the second half, is because I know their game plan. It's very simple, and honestly, it may be obvious. They're going to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey a lot. That is the biggest weakness on the Kansas City defense, is stopping the run. And here's exactly what I know about the 49ers. They are not going to do what the Ravens did, and they're not going to do what the Bills did. Here's what I mean by that. Ravens, AFC title game, came into the game number one rushing offense in the entire league. And what did they do in that game? Didn't run the ball. Decided we're just going to pass the ball and beat the Chiefs at their own game. Stupidity for a team that was number one in rushing to get doubled up in rush attempts by a team with Patrick Mahomes. But that's what happened in the AFC title game. Chiefs doubled up the rush attempts of the Ravens. Part of the reason why Baltimore lost, despite the fact they averaged over 5 yards a carry. They didn't run it a lot, but when they did, they had a lot of success. So I know the 49ers are not going to get scared away from running the ball, and Kyle Shanahan is very determined and very stubborn in a way where he is going to run McCaffrey a ton. Run game really wasn't working for a large part of the Lions game, still kept running CMC. Keeping the defense honest, wearing them down, the 49ers will not get away from the run the way the Ravens did, and I don't think they're going to get stopped in the fourth quarter running the ball the way the Bills did in the divisional round. For the first three quarters of that Bills-Chiefs game, Buffalo had their way in the ground. James Cook, Josh Allen, they were ripping off huge chunks at a time. But fourth quarter, money time, that defense for Kansas City tightened up, and that offensive line for Buffalo wilted to where they ran the ball, Buffalo as a team, for the final 18 minutes of the game. They ran it 7 times for a grand total of 11 yards. When you needed it most, Buffalo's offensive line crumbled. And when the Ravens needed the game the most, they just got away from the run. There is no way San Francisco is going to stop running the ball. And their offensive line is too good where I don't see a way where come fourth quarter time, if they're having success running the ball, that all of a sudden they're going to hit a brick wall and just not be able to go anywhere. They're going to run the ball and have a lot of success doing so all game long, which means, and brings us to our last point, that means Brock Purdy is going to have a field day. He is deadly off the play action pass. You get Christian McCaffrey going early, oh boy, it's going to be a long game for Steve Spagnuolo and that Chiefs defense. Oh boy, you get play action working and Brock Purdy sitting back there looking at one-on-one opportunities for George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, CMC out of the backfield. Forget it. And speaking of Purdy, look, I'm sick of the talk. Here's all I'm going to say about him in this game. The two things I could say about Brock Purdy that I think to me are undeniable and irrefutable. He is clutch. He is a winner. Those are two things, no matter how you feel about Brock Purdy, those 2 points are unassailable. You can't come after me and tell me I'm wrong about him being clutch or him being a winner. And last time I checked, the two qualities a quarterback needs to win the Super Bowl the most, being clutch and being a winner. Say what you want about Brock Purdy and his physical ability or who's around him and the help he has. When the game is on the line, When you need your quarterback to make a play or take your offense on a drive to keep your season alive, I mean, Brock Purdy's on a very, very, very short list of quarterbacks you want under center running your team. He gets it done every single time. I mean, this is a guy that has not lost a playoff game in which he started and finished undefeated. He gets the job done every single time the 49ers need him to, whether it's against the Packers, against the Lions. Like, look, you can get on him and you want to criticize him for a poor first half against Green Bay, or really a poor first 3 quarters against Green Bay, and a poor first half against the Lions. Okay, fine. But in the next breath, you got to give him, I think, double the compliments for how well he was able to save the season against the Packers and then dig out of a 17-point halftime deficit to go to the Super Bowl. He is clutch, and when you need a drive, he gets the job done. And in this game, again, I think it's coming down to second half play. Chiefs are one of the worst offenses in terms of scoring points in the second half. 49ers are the best. Fourth quarter, close game. You need your team right now to go on a drive and score a touchdown? Who would I rather have? The Chiefs offense or the 49ers offense? Give me the 49ers offense every single time. This season, I feel so much better about San Francisco coming up with a clutch offensive drive to win the game than I do Kansas City. No disrespect to Patrick Mahomes. That, though, is the true and realistic state of the Chiefs offense in 2023. This is, I think, the most vulnerable the Chiefs will be going forward in the Mahomes era. But like I said before, that is why I think the 49ers are finally going to expose them. They have real warts. Dolphins were unable to expose them. Bills unable to make them pay. And the Ravens they beat themselves. No one could take advantage of easily the weakest offense Mahomes has had around him in his career so far. That changes Sunday in the desert. 49ers make this Chiefs offense pay. So my final score, 31-27, 49ers over the Chiefs. Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, you name it. They all get their first Lombardi trophy, and they do win their first Super Bowl. Should be a really good game. Really excited about it. Speaking of which, by the way, tune in to me on CBS Sports Radio right after the game. We will be live on CBS Sports Radio. So if you are a listener, make sure you tune in on one of your affiliates nationwide. Well, as soon as the game is over, you will hear my voice giving you all the post-game reaction. Check us out on your local affiliate. Check us out on the Odyssey app. Folks, it's free. Download it. No information really given. It's no credit card. It's free. Type in CBS Sports Radio. Once you download the app, you can listen to me right after the game, give you my thoughts, so we can get yours as well to react to whoever does win the Super Bowl. And so we have local affiliate. We really killing this one here. Local affiliate. We have Odyssey app, SiriusXM channel 158. Also another area, SiriusXM channel 158 to listen as well. And if you're a watcher, great news. Right now, hopefully you are already subscribed to the Ryan Hickey channel on YouTube. If not, subscribe. But also, we will be live on YouTube on the CBS Sports Radio YouTube, as well as streaming live after the game. So make sure you also check out CBS Sports Radio's YouTube page. That's where you can watch me live after the Super Bowl is complete, giving you all the analysis. Fun starts 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Sunday night after the Super Bowl. Check it out. So appreciate you watching. Again, make sure to comment below your Super Bowl prediction, and we'll talk to you Sunday night after the Super Bowl. Talk to you then.